Fuck that shit. Wait, are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Yeah, fuck all that shit. State of play, the only thing that matters. Cowabunga collection.
Yo, that was cool.
Let's fucking go. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
It's
Holy
like
shit. I hope it has a platinum. I hope it has a platinum. Oh, I'm worried though, because usually when Capcom puts out these collections, like they did that with the Disney Afternoon collection, there's no platinum. I hope it's got a platinum. I'm going to buy it no matter what. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it has a platinum or not. I'm buying that fucking game. I also hope they put out a physical edition, unlike the Disney Afternoon collection that only came out digitally. I'll be honest though, I bought that only so I could play Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, because that was one of my favorite NES games as a kid. So it was like, well, I just need to play Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. The rest of these games can eat dicks. But
didn't they do a limited run package of that? I thought they did, but I could be just losing my mind. I felt like there was like some weird special version you could buy physically, but I don't know. Maybe not, because then like
they did that for the Disney Classic Collection of the Jungle Book and the Lion King.
Got it.
Aladdin and now here's the thing. So I bought that game when it was Aladdin and the Lion King, and I guess now you can buy it and it comes with the Jungle Book.
Oh.
But I guess the Jungle Book is DLC, but there's no trophies for the Jungle Book. So I already got the platinum for the Aladdin Lion King.
And now Jungle Book, technically.
I got the platinum in Jungle Book without ever playing the Jungle Book. So there you go. No, there is no physical edition of
the Afternoon collection.
The Afternoon, which would be cool. Like, it would be cool just to own, just for Darkwing Duck and DuckTales and all that, but no platinum. But yeah, dude. I want to go Cowabunga. I want to do it, and then I can go. Then I go, whoa, gnarly! I have more platinums than you. Or no, shit. No, wait, that's not the name of the show.
That could be.
No, cut this out. The episode hasn't started yet until I say the catchphrase.
Are you enjoying
the code word? Oh, what if I just hold this podcast hostage and never start it?
We just never start it. We just kind of bullshit.
What if this goes like, for
like 3 hours?
That would hold on. That'd be a really funny idea if we ever just did a game. If we ever just did a game that like sucked so bad after we played it, that's just like there's nothing to talk about. Instead of bailing, we should just do that and then start the podcast.
Be like, it sucked in podcast.
And podcast. Yeah, but this podcast, the game doesn't suck. So let's start. I have more trophies than you. Oh. Oh no, it does suck. Well, it doesn't suck. Hi, welcome to the show. We just started.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it.
We got a lot of other things that we can talk about.
We got some other things to talk about.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Hi, friends.
Welcome. We're in it.
This is we should start the podcast. Shut up. Replay the wait, this didn't count.
It. We're going
rewind
back.
it. Okay, wait.
Starting over.
Hold on. Time out. Okay, that was a rough start. Let's try that again. Rewind. I have more trophies than you. Welcome, friends, to I Have More Trophies Than You. This is a video game podcast about video games and the different ways that people play them. I am your host, Dr. Ryan, the 88th best gamer in all of North America. Do you think it's weird that I always say this is a video game podcast about video? Oh, wait. Shit. Fuck.
No.
You didn't introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm the other host. I'm Chris, and I play video game.
You play video game?
Yeah, I play Final Fantasy.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Do you think it's weird that the intro, I say this is a video game podcast about video games?
No, because I find like redundancy is like a very funny thing. So I love it.
Okay. Just making sure.
Because I guess you could have like we
could have a video game podcast about like movies. We could have a video game movie only podcast.
This episode kind of flows into that.
Speaking of, I saw a couple video game movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were gonna go see
I saw Uncharted.
Uncharted, that's right. How was it?
Do we have a movie review corner theme song?
We don't yet, but we now can.
Just play the theme from On Cinema at the Cinema.
I love this movie. I'm Tim Heidecker, and you're watching On Cinema at the Cinema. Quiet on set. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the Video Game Movie Review Corner. I went to the theater twice since last episode. One of them was to see The Batman, which, by the way, the Batman. Have you seen The Batman?
No, I have no interest in it.
It's so fucking... What, really?
Yeah, okay, so it's that whole thing about, like, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and you're going to hate me for saying it. I don't like the Nolan films. I like when Batman's a detective, and I hear that's what they do in this movie.
If you like when Batman... Okay, listen, I love the Nolan films. Whatever, you don't have to love them. If you want Batman as a detective, you should really go see the Batman.
That's what I'm here. Well, the thing is like, one, I'm not a movie going person. I hate going to the movie theater.
I love going to the movie theater.
I only like going for the popcorn. Like, that's the only thing that I'm missing.
The popcorn is trash. I have, ever since Movie Pass folded, I have whatever I have Cinemark, and they have the movie club where you pay like $9 a month and you get one free a month. But since ticket prices are $10.25, it's like, hey, you save $1.25 and you get 20% off popcorn. So, yeah, it's not bad. So I like going to the movies. It's fun. But I saw The Batman, and I have to say, I didn't want to at first be like, recency bias I was like, it might be just as good as The Dark Knight. And I didn't want to say anymore because I thought recency bias, but I've thought about it. I think this is a bet. It's either a better movie or they are on par the same. I no longer think The Dark Knight is better than The Batman. I would say The Dark Knight and The Batman are the same. They are. I don't think one is better than the other because one of them is a fucking just a ride of the best Joker, and then one of them is just the best detective Batman story that's been made.
And that's what I'm really intrigued by now, because like I paid attention to a lot of like reviews coming out of it just because I was like, I really want to hear what people say about it. And I'm being swayed to the point where it's like, I want to see it, but I still don't think, because I think ticket prices are like, it's like $20 a ticket or something crazy. Like,
what the fuck? Let's see it on a Tuesday at like 2:00 in the afternoon. Right.
But like the only one near us is like, it's AMC that we would go to, and they're charging more. So AMC, it's like, fuck
AMC
that.
Sucks shit. I fucking hate AMC.
But I have HBO and it's coming there like next month. So I'm like,
there are some scenes in that movie that you will not get the same not seeing it in a theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I've got a really big TV.
No, you don't understand. There's some dope ass scenes. Anyway, The Batman rules. I also went to see the Uncharted movie, Uncharted. How was that? And I have to say, I thought it was fun. I thought it was a good time. It's not the best movie ever made. It's not even like the best video game movie ever made. But it's a fun ride. Like, it's a fun adventure movie. Everyone was like, why is he so young? It's like, it's a prequel. This is Drake's first adventure. And I thought that Tom
Holland?
Shit. Holland? I was about to say Tom Wilson. I don't know who that is.
I almost said Tom Hiddleston, but that's Loki.
Yeah. Tom Holland does a very good job. Marky Mark, fine.
I love Marky Mark.
The bad guy's Antonio Banderas. Marky Mark's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, but I like him in movies for some reason.
I thought it was a good fun time. It definitely could lead to more. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I was just like, this is a fun time. It's just a fun little adventure. I don't think it's a lot. I think my ratings for Letterboxd is very simple. Half a star is basically because you can't give no stars. 1 star means this movie would fucking garbage, but there might have been one little point that made me not want to give it 0 stars, right? 2 to 2.5 stars is like, this movie was not great, but whatever, I saw it. 3 stars is like, this is a middle of the road movie. I'm glad that I watched it, but I would never like actively seek it out again. 3.5 stars like is a little better than that. 4 stars is, this is a fun movie. I would watch it again, but I'm not going to I'm not going to fight for it. Like, if you came back and you said, I thought it sucked, I'd go, well, that's your opinion. 4.5 stars is like, this is a near perfect movie. Then 5 stars is a movie that I will fight you if you don't like.
Would you say The Godfather is a 5-star movie?
The Godfather is a 5-star movie. The Godfather Part 2 is a 5-star movie. The Godfather Part 3 is like 2.5 stars.
I'd give it like
it's not very good.
Great. Yeah,
I watched that. I got for it was for his birthday last year. I got my dad the Godfather Coda, that recut of 3. It's like, it's okay. It's still not great. But why were you about? I'm sorry. Were you about to talk shit on the Godfather?
Me? No, I love the Godfather.
Then why did you? Why did you? Out of all things, why did you bring up the Godfather?
I don't know, like because they were just like doing it in theaters again, and that was something I was kind of like.
Yeah, that was. I think that was an AMC only thing. They didn't do that here.
Yeah, like that one, I really struggle to like not go to the theater because I've shown those movies to my wife a couple times, and my wife to my wife. And,
I like getting mad until.
I always like think about it too. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say it this, and then I never do it. I'm terrible. I love those movies, and I just like, I don't know. I don't know if like I don't think she enjoyed them as much as I did, but I mean they're old movies, they're long movies.
We've already established that she has trash taste from.
Oh yeah, she likes Sucker Punch.
Yeah, she likes Sucker Punch, so doesn't really matter.
I think the next movie Soup. I'm going to see in the theater.
We love you, Soup.
Yeah, Soup, you're the best.
Okay.
Yeah. Sonic the
Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the worst movies
that movie
I've ever. It's one of the worst video game movies of all time. That movie is absolute suck shit garbage.
Absolute.
The writing is fucking atrocious.
Perfect.
If you movie. Like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I don't trust you.
That's fair.
About liking things, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've always been told I have questionable taste in things.
Yeah,
I grew up liking like MSI and Real Big Fish and stuff. So,
well, I like Real Big Fish. What's MSI?
Mindless self-indulgence.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's probably a good thing.
Is it a band? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Real Big Fish.
They suck now. They got like super canceled.
Anyway, okay, well that's fair. Anyway, 2 movies in theaters that you can go see right now. The Batman. Who should see the Batman? Anyone, everyone, all people should see the Batman. Who should see Uncharted? Hey, if you're looking for a fun little adventure movie and you've played, here's the most unrealistic thing about the Uncharted movie. He doesn't murder like 6,000 people.
What?
Yeah. Well, because they can't have 6,000 people in the movie.
Oh, that's fair. And you can't have just like Pretty Boy Tom Holland become this.
You can't have Pretty Boy Tom Holland just murdering people for 4 hours, just shooting people in the head for 4.5 hours. But I think the Uncharted. This is the way I would put it. You should see the Batman in theaters. I think it's important to see the Batman in theaters. If you want to go see Uncharted in theaters, it's a fun time. They got some good graphics. But if you want to wait for home video release, I think that's fine. I have one other problem with Uncharted, but it is a spoiler. I guess it's not really a spoiler.
It's Uncharted.
No. It's not a spoiler. I can say without being a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
There is violence in the movie, right? People do get shot. It cuts away anytime anybody actually dies.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
The classic cinema trick of shooting somebody on screen.
If somebody gets shot, it goes to another close up of somebody else going like, "Oh no, they get shot." Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was a little like, oh, we gotta make this movie family friendly because it's about video games. It's like Nathan Drake is one of the world's most prolific serial killers.
Yeah. Like I believe I watched like this like short form documentary about the first like gunshot on screen, like somebody getting shot. Because it was like something that like I think it was done in like a Western and they couldn't figure out like the best way to do it is showing you the person getting shot but without actually shooting somebody. Like they had to come up with the trick for it. And it was cool. Like I honestly I don't remember how or when or how I watched this, but like I have this like recollection of vaguely doing it. It was probably in like my film class in college or high school or something like that. But it was kind of neat. But yeah, like that totally makes sense. I couldn't see because that would have been a Sony film too, and that's like their poster child right now. They can't just have him run around murdering people and then put him in a Spider-Man suit.
Speaking of Sony movies, I watched another movie this week.
What'd you watch?
We'll get into it later.
Oh, okay. Did you? Oh, okay. I watched a movie today.
What? Was it the same thing?
It might have been the same movie.
Hey, let's just cut to the chase. When we did the last episode, I immediately went on eBay and bought a Blu-ray copy of the Ratchet and Clank movie.
Did you really?
It showed up today. it took that long. I'm gonna give this guy bad reviews on eBay, but today at lunch I watched that movie while getting the platinum in Ratchet Clank.
That rules. I love that.
But yeah, anyway, so that's the movie corner. Movie corner done. Platinum corner time. Platinum report, baby.
Yo. Guess what?
What?
I have a platinum.
Let's hear the Chris Platinum report.
I can join in on this.
Let's go. You're first. Go ahead.
I platinum Spider-Man for the
Marvel's
PS4. It was
Spider-Man.
PS5, but yeah, the 2019 in some
the PS5 version.
Yeah, the PS5 version.
See, if you'd done the PS4 version, then you could have uploaded your data and auto popped and gotten 2 plats for the price of 1. Something I will talk about very soon.
But the loading, like.
Oh,
there's no loading on the PS5. Fucking rules.
Well, that was one of the first things I did when I bought my PS5 and I got the Miles Morales. I downloaded the Marvel Spider-Man, and so I loaded it up. I got all the trophies, and then I was just like, oh, "What's the fast travel like?" And I was just like, "Let me fast travel all the way to the other side of the map and see what happens."
Mm-hmm. It's instantaneous. Like it was so fast.
It's like boop, boop. I was like, fuck.
Because that was actually a trophy that I was kind of having trouble because I didn't like look at a guide or anything because that's
a trophy I had to when I first played the game. It was just like, oh, this is a trophy. I need to do this. There's a trophy in Spider-Man for fast traveling 5 times. It's like that's a trophy that some people won't get because I never wanted to fast travel.
Right,
I wanted to
I never fast traveled, and it just says ride the subway. So like I would go to the upper northeast and just like jump on the top of it and like ride it for a little bit. And I'm like, well, how would it know? Yeah, and it was like, oh no, that's what you do in the fast travel. But the thing is that since the PS5 loads so fast, it doesn't even show you that cutscene of him getting on the train and then going.
Yeah, in the PS4 there was a bunch of different little like it was fun doing that trophy because I never used it, but it was fun to watch the cutscenes because when you fast travel, it's Peter in his Spider-Man suit on the subway, and you get some funny like interactions with people.
That seems like it would be really cute, but like, I never saw that cutscene once. So.
Did you play all the DLC also?
I did. I completely like 100%ed everything. Like I got except for 100%ing the trophies because I feel like there's. I have to do New Game Plus. That's what it is. That's
honestly, we talked about that. And it's like if you have to do New Game Plus and you have to do it on the ultimate difficulty. It's honestly not that hard.
Right.
When I wanted to go back and do the 100%, I waited until all the DLC came out so I could buy it as like a season pass thing. Mm-hmm. And so what I did is I played all the DLC and then I did that. And I think it's like I did the DLC. It took it, a couple of days of just having fun, and then I sped run the game of like skipping all the cutscenes and doing the bare minimum. And I think you can beat that game in about 6 hours if you skip all of the cutscenes and just play the main game. Since it's a lot of side shot. It's not very maybe 6 or 8 hours. I definitely did it like a day or two. Like compared to doing that in Miles Morales, which you'll do next.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Having to New Game Plus it is part of the platinum, but that same thing. After you do it, if you need, and you don't have to do it on the hardest difficulty. That's not part of it. You can. I played it on normal, and then for the second run, I put it on the easiest difficulty. That if you skip all the cutscenes and just do what's needed, that game's about 2.5 hours long. Damn. It really is like Miles Morales. I'm going to break it to you. Miles Morales really is a standalone DLC video game. Yeah. Like it is one of these, like I was related to Far Cry New Dawn, where it's just like, we have these assets. We've got so much time before the next game. Why not just make another game on top of it? And also that lets us set up Miles for the next game. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, sure, that works. So it's like, don't expect the world with Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Don't expect it to be a better game. Everyone's like, oh, Miles Morales is a better game. They're lying. They're just saying that because it's cool to say that.
They like to play as Miles because Miles is a cooler Spider-Man.
He's not. But
he totally is.
He's not. It is a fun side quest. That's the way to look at Miles Morales.
I'm excited to get to it. My only thing is
than
like
Miles Morales. Go ahead.
No, I just needed like a break from that game because it like
I get it.
There's a few things that I really dislike about it.
I'd love to hear them. Go ahead.
Namely, I hated any time I didn't play as the named character Spider-Man.
I hear that a lot when people don't like the Mary Jane or the Miles Morales sections where you don't have powers.
For me, it's like one of these plain and simple. The game's called Spider-Man. I'm not here to play as Mary Jane. Like I'm not going to have any
problem. I did not have a problem with them because they are short. They're like 5 to 10 minutes max each, and they are interludes between chapters.
Yeah, and it's like I totally get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I would have rather just watched that as a cutscene. Like, I didn't need to play that. Like, there could have been something else, or just like, I don't know. It just didn't feel. I never felt good playing as these characters, and just like I felt like I was wasting time, and like I don't know. Like, I had a problem with that.
I think it was a good way to like set up a. No, I think it was a good way to set storylines that you couldn't have Peter do. Yeah, because if Peter was there, he could just be like, "Bob, ha, I'm Spider-Man." Zoop, zoop, zap, zoop, zap. But if you're there as fucking Mary Jane, who's like, I'm stuck in this room with all of these, fucking demons, and I don't know what to do. It puts a little bit more fear of God in you.
I'm
not faulting you for not. I'm not faulting you for not liking it. I'm just saying, like, I had no problem with it.
I think my only problem was of how frequent it was, especially through
them. There's only 3 of them
as both characters, because there's definitely more than 3.
Oh, there's 4. There's 2 as Mary Jane, and there's 2 as Miles. One going through like when everything's breaking down as Miles, and then one with the Rhino. And there's only 2 as Mary Jane. So there's only 4, and they, like I said, they only last for 5 to 10 minutes.
I felt
5
like
minutes max.
There had to be more, but like
no, there's only, unless I'm mistaken, I believe there's only 4 throughout the whole game.
Huh. Either way, anytime like it.
Are you typing?
I was just erasing something. Don't worry. I don't know. Those were just sections of the game where I was just like, there really wasn't anything else. Like I would.
No, I get it. What else you got?
Yeah, and then this is something I'm kind of noticing a trend of, is that I wasn't the field of view sometimes was a little fucky for me. And that's something that
is 100% because you are a
I play
PC player.
Games, yeah.
And as me as a console gamer, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Everything seemed fine. That's how video games are.
You
want to talk about a game with some shit ass field of view.
Accessibility issue, and that's something I have a problem with.
Let me tell you about this game I started playing with Frank called Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Fuck that game in its point of view, or field of view, where there's like 8 million things on the screen and you're in the middle just trying to look through pop-up ads.
Oh my God. Well, no, like, because all they need to do is just put in a slider that just lets me pull the camera back a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
I guess that's probably a thing that would be in future things, but this is a game from 2018.
That's what I'm hoping, because it feel well. That's the thing, is like it's like, yeah, it's 2019, but that's not that long
2018
ago. Is it 2018?
2018.
Still, it's like, I feel like
that's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait,
almost 4 years.
4 years ago.
Well, yeah, 4 years. But like,
it's a long time ago, and
they should definitely do it, though. They should, especially
they'll do it in the next game. Why would they do it on this game? Who gives a shit?
Well, that's the thing, is if you're putting out a better version, go on ahead and put some upgrades.
Yeah, they already put it out. Who gives a shit? You get to finally rate a game on its trophies.
Oh,
let's do a little mini rating. What do you rate this? What do you rate Marvel Spider-Man for fun, and what do you rate Marvel Spider-Man for trophies?
For fun, I think it's a platinum. Like, that game fucking rules. It's so insanely fun.
It's the best open world game of the PS4 era. What would you rate it for getting all the trophies now that you've gotten the platinum? Platinum only, not DLC.
That's tough. I mean, I would even include the DLC, because the DLC was like negligible. Like, it was whatever. Like, it kind of felt tacked on at times, but like,
I like the DLC. I like
the story it tells, but
the mob.
I just kind of felt like the tasks that it made me do was just kind of like,
that's why I'm not letting you rate them, because you will rate it lower because of that. So just the platinum, please. Thank you very much. Base game, go ahead.
The base game platinum, it's probably a platinum. Like,
it is.
It was
it's
really
one of the highest. It's not so much that it's easy; it's that it's simple. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Just play everything. Have fun.
Play the game. Do everything.
Play the game. You don't have to do the best on all the missions. You don't have to get the highest points. You just have to have fun.
Yeah, and that I didn't mind. Like, that I really enjoyed.
I also give it a platinum on both things. Anything else you've been playing that you want to talk about before I get into my platinum report?
I feel like there has been some stuff, but like, nothing is really jumping to me right now.
Okay. I'm going to say, welcome to my platinum report. I'd love to talk about the game that I wish I was playing until my friend Chris saddled me with fucking Ratchet and Clank, which is I haven't gotten to play Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah. How is that?
the parts that I played are good, and now there's more out. But I had to spend the last couple days playing. We'll get into it. I don't hate Ratchet and Clank. I hate what Ratchet and Clank made me do, which is not play Elden Ring. Anyway, 17 new platinums since last episode. Really? First platinum. So the last thing that we ended on was the PS4 version of the Chick C, because we're trying to keep the streak alive. Right. If you know, the streak is I need to try to get at least one trophy a day for the entire year. And I've gotten one trophy a day since the 22nd of December. The current streak is 78 days. Damn. We've gone 78 days with getting at least one trophy a day.
You're almost to like what, a fourth of the year? Or maybe right at...
Well, no, because we started at the 22nd of...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I guess... that would have been...
It starts from the 22nd of December, not from January 1st. I had a little streak going. So anyway, so the starting on this new area, we got the platinum in the Chick C on PS5. We got Football Break on PS5. We got the platinum for Dr. Oil. Which is, I think, you're a sentient little piece of butter that has to, like... stop Dr. Oil because you're fat. I don't know. It was really stupid. It took me like 8 minutes to get the platinum because those platinums were all earned so I could get to the next milestone, which is 1,050 trophies. And that was, of course, for Horizon Forbidden West on the PS4, because then right after we platinumed that, we got platinum 1051, which is Horizon Forbidden West on the PS5. We got that in 1 second from the auto pop. Really quick, Horizon Forbidden West, amazing.
Yeah.
I know that I talked last time about a couple things that were kind of gripes, but overall, what a great game.
Do you think it's an improvement on the first one in most ways?
Yes. Like I said, the only detriment over the last time is the only thing I don't like they did is that different bows have different ammos. So now it's like you have to have a bunch of different bows on hand. That is the only thing that was just like, I don't like how you did that. But everything else is really, really good. I love where the story went. The story went fucking bananas. I don't feel like good talking about it yet. It's still too early.
Yeah, it's still
early. We'll get there eventually. But I really can't wait to talk to Cecily about Horizon Forbidden West whenever she gets around to playing it. Overall, I give Horizon Forbidden West another platinum and platinum. I thought they were great games. And if it wasn't for the fact that Elden Ring is so much better, I would say it's my favorite game of the year so far.
Really? Oh my god.
Dude, Elden Ring fucking rules. And listen, I put 20 hours, I only got to put about 20 hours into that game. I'm like level 65 and I've only beaten the first boss.
You just been power leveling?
They made everything that I talk shit on Breath of the Wild. You know, everyone's like, oh, Breath of the Wild came out at the same time Horizon Forbidden or Zero Dawn, and it's so much better game. And I'm like, no, it's not. Zelda Breath of the Wild gets kind of boring after a while because everything's so samey and doesn't matter. Elden Ring is everything that everyone said about Breath of the Wild is actually about Elden Ring.
And that's something like I haven't
do everything
seen
and find secrets, and the secrets matter. That's the difference. It's not find 100 of the same fucking temple over and over again. It's, I found, and I went in here, and what's this? And now I went down a well, and then what was in the well? Oh, shit, I'm in another map. Like, it's shit like that.
I haven't seen too much of it, but like, that's something.
Let you in a little secret right now. We're at the end of the episode. I'm picking a game that I've already played so that I can spend the next 2 weeks playing Elden Ring.
Everything I've been seeing about that, it's like, oh yeah, this is probably another one of those games where like exploration is the most important, because that's what I think is so great about Breath of the Wild, or Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the
Wild. Is that it's you just go out, have the adventure, go figure things out by yourself, and that's kind of what I want Elden Ring to be, and that's what it seems like it is. So I'm excited to get to it.
It's everything you wanted with Breath of the Wild, but it actually matters, and it's hard as fuck until you find the way to cheese everything, because that's what you should do in any Soulsborne game. Anyone who ever says don't do it this way is cheese, fuck you. Here's the thing about any Dark Souls, you know, they call them Soulsborne because of Bloodborne. Let's just call them Dark Souls games. Here's the thing about Souls games. That game is trying to fuck you in the ass. You fuck it right back.
Yep.
All right. I also got the platinums in Moto Rotor MC on PS4 and PS5. That is a like old Japanese arcade racer game that is just, that it's one of those top downs where you drive the little car, but
like MotoGP.
Yeah.
It looks cute.
They put out a free upgrade to a game that I played on PS4 called One Night Stand on PS5. That is a choose your own adventure, like kind of visual novel game about waking up in a girl's bed after you've had sex.
Interesting.
It's not good, but I got it on sale like 2 years ago, and then they're like, here's a free version, you can do it again. Great. I got that platinum in like 30 minutes. Some more break games because I needed some stats to get up to a very specific number, because so I platinumed to St. Patrick's Day break 2 and football break head to head so that I could get really close to getting almost 30,000 trophies. And then my good friend Chris here helped me with another milestone. My 30,000th overall trophy was in Final Fantasy 14. It was for doing a very specific dungeon, and I got it because I wanted to do the chiropractor trophy in Tony Hawk Ride, but when I got my Tony Hawk Ride board on eBay, and it got here, it was fucking broken. So I had to return that. I'm still looking. I have the game and the dongle. I just need a board that works. Yeah. Hey, if you have a Tony Hawk Ride board for PS3 that you don't want anymore and you know it works, hit me up. Let me buy it from you. Anyway, we got a trophy called, what was it called? Didn't Stop, Made It Pop, because it was a Kesha reference. Thank you, Final Fantasy 14 team, for your great references. We also got platinums in Valentine Candy Break 2, St. Patrick's Day Run on PS4 and PS5. A new game called Disco Cannon Airlines, where you just press the X button a lot and you fly into space. It was $1 and it sucks. Perfect. Also today, new game came out, Quick Maths Advance. We already got the platinums for Quick Maths. This is Quick Maths Advance. You got to learn Division. So those games took me about a minute each because I'm good at math. Got that on PS4 and PS5. And then the last platinum, Ratchet and Clank. Like I said, I finally so we talked 2 weeks ago. You're like, we're gonna play Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
I instead played Elden Ring until last Thursday when I went, shit, I need to start fucking Ratchet. So I started it on Thursday. Then on Friday I drove to Portland after work, and I was in Portland on Saturday for the retro video game swap meet, where I got some very tasty treasures. I got all 3 Donkey Kong Countries on both SNES and on GBA, and these are all complete in box copies, and a complete in box copy of Banjo-Kazooie. I'm a happy man. But then it was like, shit, get home. And then I had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then today at lunch to platinum Ratchet and Clank. But I did it.
You did it.
So that puts us at 1,063 trophies, or platinums, 30,170 overall trophies, country rank 88, world rank 553, level 949. Completion rate still 92.92 with a average of 8.05 trophies a day. That average, I think I've talked about this, would be a lot higher if it wasn't for the fact that I got a trophy in 2011 starting the thing and then didn't start trophy hunting until 2017. Right. I would love to see what my trophies per day is ever since I started actually trophy hunting. It would be a lot higher.
There has to be some kind of like statistic somewhere that could give you that information.
I mean, I would have to count it and do it myself.
Yeah.
I would have to, from my, like, as many trophies as I have, I would have to subtract any trophy I got before I really started. Mm-hmm. And then I would have to divide that by how many days it's been since that day that I'm starting at. So if someone wants to do the math, look at my PSN profiles and do the math for me. Yeah. You can start with whenever I started Final Fantasy 15. That's been my platinum report.
Hell yeah. You did. There's one little thing here on your PSN profiles that like kind of blows me away, is that you've played exactly 1,200 games.
I've played 1,200 different games.
Like, that blows my mind. Like,
what's really cool there is you can see like how many different games I've played on this account, how many games I've completed. There's a difference between platinum and completing. Right. Completing is a game that either if it doesn't have a platinum, you've gotten 100%, or if it does have a platinum, you've gotten all the trophies. But if a game has DLC, it doesn't count as completed. So it's like something where it's like, I've gotten all the trophies, but I technically haven't completed the game, doesn't count in that completed games list.
Makes sense.
And then the unearned trophies, that's how many out of that 1,200 games, I've earned 30,170 trophies, but there are 3,444 trophies that I've never earned. That's how you get the completion percentage. Out of Like if I got every trophy in every game I've ever played, I'd be 100% completion, but I'm not. So I have a 92. I have 92% of total trophies that I could have.
Right.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's an A average, right?
And if you're looking at my PSN profiles, do you like my new bio line under my name there?
I see the I created NFTs, and I've seen that's what I'm talking about popping off for you lately.
Oh fuck! I keep getting PM. Okay, so on my bio on Twitter, I like to put jokes there, and so my latest one just says I created NFTs. About every couple days, I will get a PM from somebody. I don't know if it's a robot or a real person. I'll be like, hey, we'd really like to synergize with you about maybe getting some strategies about creation for our NFT opportunities. The latest one I got was a few days ago, and it was just like, we want to set up NFTs to help people like pay their medical bills or something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Anyway.
Fucking hell, that's so good. It just like goes to show if they are real people, like, man, they fucking did not do their homework. And I assume they're robots, but like, oh my god. I really hope that they're just real ass people messaging you, being like, oh yes, this is the Dr. Ryan, the NFT Lord.
I have to assume they don't think that I created NFTs. I have to assume they think I create NFTs. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You should change it to say I created the concept and idea.
No, that's not. It's fun. No, now you've made it unfunny. Should we get into the episode?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Okay, the episode for this time was a Chris. Chris, why did you pick this game?
Because I always pick these fucking terrible games.
It's not a terrible. I want to go on record right now. I'm gonna shit on this game a little bit. The game's not bad.
It really is.
I'm gonna do like. Tim Rogers from Action Button, and I'm going to get to the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. Why play this when Rift Apart exists?
Why play this when the movie exists? You can just watch the movie.
Yeah, like it's okay.
It's really weird. It's such a strange thing because like the end. Here's the whole fucking. Here's the story. Okay, you play as Ratchet. You find Clank, and then you go fight Dr. Nefarious. No, that's it.
Let's give this its due. Here's the story. This is a retelling of the very first game, which I never played, but I could. But the story is basically Ratchet is stuck on a planet in a garage, and he's like, I want to join the Galactic Rangers, where Captain Quark is like the hero of the galaxy, and they're gonna hold tryouts. It's like, I'm gonna live this little podunk town planet, and I'm gonna go join the Galactic Rangers, the best space cops in the galaxy. At the same time, Clank is a defective little robot created by the Blargs, who are like the evil corporate, like bad aliens who are like we're the bad corporation. And this dude is like trying to make all these warbots because he has this thing called the Deplanetizer, and he wants to go and basically use it to break down other planets in the galaxy to steal their raw materials to make a new planet for their homeworld, because their homeworld has been too overly polluted. It's basically the plot of Spaceballs.
Yeah, and
so Clank fucks off because he's like, I don't want to get destroyed, and finds Ratchet, and they go to team up with the Space Rangers, who then go, oh, you're the Galactic Rangers, sorry, you're cool, you've done some crimes, but people like you, come with us, we're going to try and stop who's blowing up all these planets. And so you go to planet, and you're like finding out the mystery. All of that shit is cut out in the movie. They really you really should just watch the movie. But it comes down to that the bad guy, Dr. Nefarious, used to be part of the Galactic Rangers and got kicked out, and now he wants to take revenge on the galaxy. So he's helping the Blargs break down planets, but he's got a secret plan to actually just destroy all life in the galaxy because he fucking hates everybody. And then they brainwash. They don't brainwash. They just trick Captain Quark, because he's a fucking idiot, into working for him. So he's like really technically a bad guy. You do some things to go get parts to stop this thing, which is once not in the movie because you don't need this. And then the end is that Dr. Nefarious turns on the Blargs and kills them so that he can blow up the galaxy because they didn't know about it. And then Captain Quark is like, oh, I was tricked. Let's go get him. And then you blow him up. And then you become the hero of the galaxy. And then Dr. Nefarious becomes a robot like he's been for the rest of the games.
Right.
It is a very simple game.
It really is.
It is a very simple game. It's not a bad game. It controls fine. My problems with the game all stem from the trophies, not the video game.
Okay.
But at the same point, this game is like they set up at the beginning that it's Captain Quark retelling the story of the movie because
he's been
in the video
prison.
game, he's in prison and he gets a new cellmate, and his cellmate's like, "Oh, yeah, I love your adventures. I played the new video game based on your latest adventures." Like, no, it's actually a movie, like wink, wink. He's like, "No, they made a video game too. So you're playing a video game based on a movie that was based on a video game."
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I thought that was cute.
The whole game, I did like that Captain Quark like narrates the whole game.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, I that's something. Now that you mention it, that's something I actually really love, because there were even parts like if you would ever get like lost or something, or just like you're doing something ancillary that really doesn't matter, you'll hear him like cue in and be like, and then Ratchet hit the box that he really didn't need to. He could just continue on with the game and move forward. And it's like, oh, I kind of enjoy that. Like, it kind of felt like, is it Bruce Campbell that does the narration in Spider-Man 2, the video game? And it's just kind of, it's kind of a little,
or it's Stanley
shit talky at times. Yeah, it's fun. Like, I do really enjoy that. I really like this game. Just kind of just feels unnecessary, I guess.
Here's the thing, though. It came out in 20. Like, my whole problem with this is that I played Rift Apart first. Which now that you have a PS5, give it a little while, because you just played Ratchet Clank. Like, you really should play Rift Apart, because it is a much better game.
I'm very excited to play that one.
Part of me really wants to go, and I have the collection on PS3. I want to play the very first game and see how much of this is actually the same from that game. But it's a very simple game. It's go on every planet is a map. You have like 2 or 3 things that you need to do, but it's all very linear. It's not an open world map like in Rift Apart. Every map is linear. And it's either, go here, do this, go here, do this. And then on a couple planets, like, oh, Clank's got to go in the vents and like solve a little puzzle. And it's not. Here is why I'm okay with this game.
Okay.
It was free.
Yeah.
They have made this game free a trillion different times. It is free if you own a PS5 and have PS Plus. It is free if you had PS Plus like 2 different times in the last couple of years. And then when the fucking the pandemic started, they're just like, fuck it. It's free for everyone for a couple months.
Yeah.
If you're listening right now, you probably own this game and don't even know it.
Yeah.
So for the price of free, I can't complain. If I had paid money to buy this game, I'd be like, well, fuck.
I totally get
that.
Even
now, if someone wants to send me a physical copy of this game just for my shelf, I wouldn't say no. But I wouldn't spend, like, if I set a garage sale for a couple bucks, I'd buy it, but I'm not going to go out and buy it.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, I really like the PS3 series, the
future series.
Yeah, the future series. I love the future series.
I've only played 3 Ratchet and Clank games. I played Ratchet and Clank Future, Tools of Destruction, because when I first got the PS3, when I won it, I was like, well, I got to play a game on this.
Right.
And so I rented that and I played it, and that was my first game. And I was like, that was a fun time.
Yeah, totally great.
But so there weren't trophies to go after, so I just played the game.
True.
I wasn't a trophy. Well, those trophies didn't even exist yet. And this was after I'd gotten out of Platinum, so I just didn't give a shit. The next one I played was Rift Apart on the PS5, and it's like one of the best games I played last year. It fucking rules. It's so much fun, and I suggest everyone. And then I played this, was just like, oh, this seems like the demo for Rift Apart.
I'm hoping that's what it was, because, like,
well, to be fair though, this game came out in this game is 6 years old,
right?
They didn't have. There's the only Ratchet and Clank game on PS4.
Yeah, which is very.
And it was between the PS3 games and Rift Apart. This is all they got. It was a reboot, and it was. I think it was solely they're like, well, we're making the movie. Why not just remake the first game really quick? It probably did not use their main team, and it probably was easy to put out. And I think it sold pretty well.
That would blow my mind. Well, I mean, unless they're just counting in all the times they give it away for free, but like,
no, it got an 85 out of 100 on Metacritic. Like, it got solid 4.5 stars. Like, everyone said the same thing, which is like, oh, this is a fun game, but it wasn't.
It's, for me, my biggest issue with it is that like,
Spencer Campbell of Electronic Gaming Monthly says Ratchet Clank is a return to form for the series, but anyone looking for something more than that may be disappointed. It is just, hey, do you remember Ratchet Clank? Do you want to play it on PS4? Sure.
Yeah. It's my biggest thing is that the game just kind of feels all over the place. Like the pacing in it is very fucking weird. Because
Ratchet and Clank
it just retells the story of the movie, but like with some things cut out and then thrown in to like give you an adventure to play.
A 90-minute movie. The movie is 90 minutes and it's got real names. Like it's got all the same voice cast as this game, but then like the side characters are like, well, let's make the bad guy Paul Giamatti and like the fucking robot boss that
is Sylvester Stallone.
Is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
The guy that owns the garage that Ratchet lives in is John Goodman.
Yep.
It's like you got some like Rosario Dawson is in it. It got names, and then in this game it's like, well, let's not use that.
Yeah.
Let's take those people out and just use voice actors.
Yeah.
And then let's add like a bunch of side shit of like, I gotta go to this planet.
Every character sound like Invader Zim.
Yeah,
like
that fucker. There's planets where it's just like, well, this isn't the movie because we need to pad this out. It's a video game, but it's like, it's time to go to a planet where I need to collect all of these brains so that I can buy a jetpack.
There's some weird stuff because there are parts of the movie that are clearly not, in the game or whatever, but like because of that, there's missing context that they never like filled into the game. Because there would be times when because I played the game first and then like I said, I just watched the movie today.
Did you watch all the cutscenes or did you skip them?
Yeah, I watched every cutscene, and there would be parts where I'm just like, why?
All of them.
Okay, well, here's the thing: is that like there will be moments where like when they're gonna blow up the planet with the deplanetizer, like when you go there on the first visit, right?
Yeah.
And they succeed in blowing up that planet. They're like, oh, don't worry, like everyone evacuated. They never explain like that whole subplot like about tricking Captain Quark or anything. Like they just like he just goes there and then all of a sudden you're just like, hey, we need your help, dude, and he's like, oh, I'm busy, like don't oh my gosh, and then like you eventually get captured by
well, yeah, because they couldn't do that for you can do that for a movie, but you can't do that for the video game, because if you do that from the video game, then it ruins that Captain Quark is one of the bosses you fight at the end.
But the thing is that like when they just when they just cut that scene from the movie into the game and are like, don't worry, everyone evacuated, it's like, well, how did that, why did they do that? How did they know that you were going to attack? Like because in the movie they explain like, hey, like here's the thing, Quark, we need you to work with us just a little bit, don't worry, we're going to make you out to be the hero that survived this great cataclysm, and you'll be the hero in the end of this. We're going to evacuate everyone off the planet, everyone's going to be safe, we're just going to, it's gonna get destroyed, and then we'll keep carrying on. Because when I got to that point in the game, I'm like, how? No, they fucking didn't evacuate that planet. Everyone's fucking dead. Like that. There's no fucking way. There's never one moment in the game where they explain that, and I was just like, okay. But there's like several instances of that throughout the game, because once I watched the movie today, I was like, oh, okay, I totally get the context for why this scene happened. It's because they would like. It almost feels like you should start the movie, watch the first 15 minutes, and then when they get to Ratchet in the garage, turn the movie off, play the game for a little bit, and then turn the movie back on whenever you like. Kind of feels like you should just checkpoint into the movie whenever you need, because they literally just take flat fucking scenes from the movie and just put them into the game. Like they're same one for one exact. They're even the same voice cast, because the voice cast will change between characters throughout the game, like as you're playing it. And it's like and they're similar, I'll give them that, but like it never made sense to me. I was like, why are they doing this? And it's like, oh, I get it. This is a game, it's much like we were talking about with Alice in the last episode. This is a game from 2016 that feels like a game from 2004 that was a movie tie-in video game to like whatever superhero movie was coming out. It's exactly that. Like it is satisfying in the sense of like you can have a satisfying time playing the game and you can enjoy it and stuff, whatever. It is very surface level. Like don't get too deep into it. But it is and that's why it's like not like a Ratchet and Clank game, which I'm used to, because it is just a movie tie-in video game that is based off of a previous video game that they had already made. And I was just like, kind of like at the end of it, scratching my head as like, why in the world did they make this game? Like, why did they make this game? Right, sure, money. Like, but
why are you asking questions you know the answer to? They got fucking optioned to make a Ratchet and Clank movie, and then Insomniac went, we got like 30 people over here with nothing to do who could easily
we'll just make them. What did Insomniac make on the PS4? What were the PS4 games that they did? Like, what were the, other than Spider-Man, which came at the end of the generation?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Did they? Was that an Insomniac? Or is that
no, fuck. That's Sucker. I always mix up Insomniac and Sucker Punch. That is 100% my problem. They did this. They did Sunset Overdrive. That wasn't on.
Yeah, that was a Xbox, and that game was okay. Like,
but that's like the same era. So like,
right. Yeah, like, because that's the thing is,
here are the games they made during the PS4 era. Are you ready?
Yeah, hit me.
They made Sunset Overdrive, something called Slow Down Bull on Windows. They made 2 games for mobile games called Fruit Fusion and Bad Dinos. They made Digit and Dash that was only for the iPhone. They made the Ratchet and Clank game. Right. They made Song of the Deep, which was that game that you could only buy at GameStop that apparently is shit. They made something called Edge of Nowhere, which is an action-adventure virtual reality video game developed by Insomniac Games for Microsoft Windows for the Oculus Rift. The game is based on the work of H.P. Lovecraft on the Mountains of at the Mountains of Madness. I've never heard of this fucking game.
Yeah.
It's a VR game that they made about going crazy in Antarctica. Whatever. They made some game called The Unspoken. They made some game called Feral Rights. They made Marvel's Spider-Man. They made Seedling for The Magic Leap. What? They made a game called Stormlands for Oculus Rift. They made Strangelets, and then they made Miles Morales.
You know what? I'm going to say it. I am so glad Sony bought this studio to just like say, you know what? Stop with the dog shit that you're doing. Like, just make fucking these games.
Hold on. Would you like to hear what they made on the PS3?
Yeah.
Sure. Resistance: Fall of Man, Ratchet and Clank: Future Tools of Destruction, Ratchet and Clank: Future Quest for Booty, Resistance 2, Ratchet and Clank: Future A Crack in Time,
great game.
Resistance 3, Ratchet and Clank: All for One, Ratchet and Clank: Full Frontal Assault,
good game.
Something called Outer Knots for the iPhone. Yeah. They made Fuse.
I heard Fuse was okay.
And then they made Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus,
which I didn't play that one.
So basically, they just made Resistance and Ratchet and Clank games.
And you know what? Both of those series are good.
I've never played a Resistance game. The only one I own is the one on Vita. I should look to see what it takes to get a Resistance. It's probably a lot of multiplayer that you can't get. There's multiplayer on that Vita game, but apparently it's still up because it's peer-to-peer, and it's like just find someone, and it's not that hard. Anyway, yes. Now here's their upcoming games: Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Like, Insomniac's in a good place.
Yeah, they're in a good place now. But like, man, what a weird. Because
it sucks that they don't own Spyro anymore. Because I would love to see what they can do with Spyro now.
Oh, that would be.
What if they made a new Spyro?
Who owns it? Is that owned by Microsoft?
Toys for Bob and Activision, which means that they're now owned by Microsoft.
That sucks. I mean, I would still like a new Spyro game. Like, that'd be cool. You know what? Maybe Microsoft is more into cooperating with like other companies. Like maybe they lend out Spyro to Insomniac to make them Sony. But because it's fucking owned by Sony, and there's no fucking way that Sony's going to do that.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. But this game just feels like, hey, we're going to make a children's movie. Let's make a children's game to go with it. Because the whole time, like, I messaged you just being like, oh, dude, like, this game isn't going to be shit for you because it's so fucking easy. Like, I beat it in a sitting. Like, it took me maybe 7-8 hours to beat from start to finish, and I just sat there it was like one day.
Yeah,
and I just played it.
You texted me. You're just like, I've been playing this for 4 hours and we're in the last part. I'm assuming that what you thought was the last part was actually that part where you go there the first time and then you have some more stuff to do.
Yeah, it totally was. Yeah, because then I was like, oh, there's still like a couple hours after that. But
like I said, I started it on Thursday. As everyone knows, it's Friday, but really it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I started this game on March the 3rd. I got the first trophy at about 1:00 in the afternoon, and I finished it on the 9th at 1:15. So it took me 6 days, 16 minutes, 12 seconds. But also that is playing it at lunch, after work, then leaving town for a day and a half, playing it that night, and then playing it,
it's incredibly short. Like,
it is incredibly short. Now,
that's one thing that I say is a good thing.
It's incredibly short to play it. No. That was to get the platinum, which means it was incredibly short to play it. Let me talk about the part of this game I don't like, which is this game is short. They don't respawn enemies, and there is far too much fucking grinding that you must do by breaking the game. This sucks. It is a thing that was in Rift Apart, but the difference was that in Rift Apart, there was easy ways to do it. There's a trophy for getting all the weapons to the max level. Basically, when you use a weapon, if you do damage with it, it has like its own little XP bar.
Yeah, and it'll level up throughout the game.
The problem is that, so one of the trophies is to beat this game on challenge mode, which is basically New Game Plus. There's nothing fucking challenging about it.
Right.
It's the same fucking game. They changed nothing. Yeah. So play the game twice. You can only get a weapon to level 5 on the first playthrough, and on the second playthrough, you can get to level 10, but only after you collect the random trading cards to level up the item, which are a random drop. And there's a trophy for every fucking weapon has its own sphere grid, and you have to get enough of the upgrade material to do that. Now, by the time I was done farming, I had hundreds and millions of whatever leftover shit that I didn't need. But that first playthrough, it's kind of hard to get everything before you move on.
Yeah, I don't know.
The fact is, there are not enough enemies in 2 playthroughs of the game to actually do that. There's a little trick that on one of the planets, there is this part where you go over a cliff and you see a bunch of enemies fighting each other. And so there's a shitload of enemies. What happens is that there's a checkpoint right before that. And there's not a checkpoint until you can beat everyone there, but there's not the next checkpoint until you leave the area. Right. So what you do is you kill everyone, then you go into the options and change the difficulty, which saves the data. Like, it saves your XP progress, but it resets the arena to put everyone back in it. Because if you move on, those enemies never respawn. So I had to sit there for like 3 fucking hours using every different weapon over and over again because there's not enough weapons in the game.
See, I almost told you, because this is something I had noticed through my playthrough, because there would be times with okay, here's one of the things that I have a gripe about is sometimes they would put too many enemies in a small space. And if an enemy ever got close to you, problem. That's the thing is I always played with that flamethrower. So I would always just run straight into the enemies. And
I had to be constantly switching weapons around to get them all leveled up.
But the thing is that, so I always use the short range weapons. And then if ever a time there would be an enemy within melee range of you, they would put you in a stun lock and you would just die. And I fucking hated it because it's just a lot of times I couldn't tell that I was getting too close because again, field of view in this game is not the best. And
I never had that
really be great if they had an FOV slider. But the thing is that I noticed that when you die in the game, it will respawn all enemies and you keep all your experience. And I almost told you at this one section where you go to the planet where they make all the weapons and stuff, like the Good Corporation or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you do the last hoverboard race.
Yes.
There's a section there where if you just don't kill the airship at the end of the long stretch and just let it kill you, it will reset every single enemy in that area.
I know where you're talking about.
Everything. And I just I grinded there for a small little bit just to get one of these weapons that I really wanted maxed out. And it took me 20, 30 minutes maybe at the most. And it was like really quick, but it was just, oh yeah, like I noticed that if I just die, it will respawn everyone and I keep all my experience. There was no bad thing. So I almost texted you to be like, hey, just do this.
There is the place I have has more enemy. I looked up best places to farm.
Gotcha.
And your place was mentioned, but there's like, this is the best place. It's got the most enemies per capita. Gotcha. And they're all in a smaller space. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The other fucking thing is this game has a couple missable trophies, which suck. But thankfully, I knew about them ahead of time. But it's like that place that I was talking about where I grinded. Mm-hmm. There's a missable trophy there that if you come in and start killing everybody, you'll lose a trophy. What you have to do is sit there and let one of the enemies kill the other type of enemy to get a trophy. Mm-hmm. There was a fucking missable trophy for using the what's it called? The fucking the gun that turns everyone into sheep.
Oh yeah, the sheepinator.
To use that, the sheepinator, you got to use that on a helicopter guy. But by the time that the sheepinator is given to you, there's only one helicopter guy.
Yeah.
So if you don't get that one helicopter guy, you're fucked.
Fuck those helicopter dudes because man, they give me like such a fucking pain in the ass. Like
I don't understand. Like this game was simple. I had no problems. You seem like you died a lot and had problems.
It's because I used all these short range weapons, like because I had the most fun with the short range weapons. So anytime the helicopter, like there was it's when you're trying to get back to the Hall of the Heroes and you're on the train.
Yeah,
it would spawn the two helicopters on the either side, and then there was like two enemies. And you had like a tiny little space to hide behind. But the thing is that the helicopters can still fucking hit you because your big ass stupid head hangs out above it. And it was
just jump up and you use another weapon because that's the thing about that. Oh, I want to talk about that in the movie really quick. There's like a sequence in the movie where it's like, look at all the different weapons that you can, like it's a throwaway gag. And it's like, you had to do that because this is Ratchet and Clank. Right. Ratchet and Clank is just, here's all the different types of weapons. The other thing that's kind of like disappointing playing Rift Apart is that some of the weapons in this game were like, I already used these in Rift Apart.
Yeah.
And I know it's the way around. It's like, these were first, but it's just like, they were better in Rift Apart. I find that having now played a couple Ratchet and Clank weapons, there are like 3 or 4 categories of weapons. There is the short range like gun. There is your like, I think in this is called the combustor. I put the combustor, the flamethrower, and the one that shoots the ninja stars in that category of this is just your average gun that has a lot of ammo and you just use it, right? Then you have your like your low ammo, large explosion weapons. That's like the one that throws grenades, the fucking warmonger, the you know, the things that it's like they're going to do a big thing. Then you've got your one that creates secondary things you don't have to worry about. And this one, it was like the Zircon Jr. That's like the little
Doom bots.
The Doom bots. In fucking Ratchet and Clank, there was like, or I'm sorry, not in Ratchet and Clank. It is Ratchet and Clank. In Rift Apart. I always want to call it Drift Apart, but it's Rift Apart. In Rift Apart, there was that one that like would turn people into it would throw out like slime dudes, and then you've got your one that like does something to the enemies. In this game, it was the Groovatron, which throws that little disco ball and makes everyone dance, and it was the Sheepinator. And like in Rift Apart, you had the thing that would turn people into hedges or slow them down. And then you've got the Rhino, which is always the last thing, which is the ultimate weapon that just kills everything. There's a fucking trophy in this game called Death by Disco, where you have to use that disco ball on every enemy. Every different type of enemy. Jeez. I heard that it was a really fucking buggy trophy that sometimes would work. Thankfully, that was the one I was the most scared about. It's the reason I haven't played this game, and I'd like to safely say it wasn't that hard. Once I got the disco ball gun, anytime I saw an enemy I had never seen before, I used it. Even on a new planet, if it's like, I've seen that enemy on a different planet, they technically are different enemies. So it's like, I'll use the disco ball. And it also helps that the disco ball is one of the best weapons because you throw it down and it makes all the enemies start discoing, and they only stop if you hit them, which is nice because if you get a large crowd of enemies, you disco them, and then you start picking off on the side, and while everyone else is dancing, you can kill them one at a time. So I got that not halfway. I got that around like maybe a quarter into my second playthrough because thankfully it did carry over. There were some people on saying it didn't carry over and you had to do it again, but I got it on like maybe the third planet of because I hadn't got the disco ball at that point. It's like, oh, okay, I got the trophy. It wasn't too hard.
Nice.
But the trophy that was infuriating to me. And then I learned later I could have made it easier, but of course, we've talked about this. My toxic trait is, when it comes to these, is if I can get a trophy now, I'm going to bash my head against it now instead of coming back later. There are these gold bolts that you can get. And if you get all the gold bolts, you can turn on invincibility and infinite ammo. Now, by turning that on, you stop yourself from getting XP, so you can't really use it when you're playing the game. However, there are these 2 racing sequences in the game where you're in a hoverboard and you have to beat a certain time on the hardest difficulty. If you turn it on there, the boxes that they put around, the exploding boxes that stop you in your tracks if you hit them, you can just skate through. It would have made everything a lot easier. But there's 2 courses. The second one, actually pretty easy. The first one, you have to run this course perfectly for 3 laps. And if you even miss one jump, you're never going to make it. And I had to sit there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, rerunning this over and over again until I finally got it, because it doesn't like handle very well. It's not really dog shit, but it's not dog shit, but it's just like, it's not good. And you'll fishtail when you don't mean to. And it's like, afterwards, I was like, I finally did it. And I was just like, I bet that second one's harder. Let me look it up. And they're like, no, just like the first one, if you turn on the cheat by doing this in the second mode, you'll be fine. I was like, motherfucker.
Those moments, the hoverboard sections, I was kind of like, we're really still doing this, aren't we? Like,
once again, you have to look at this as they were thinking of this as basically a spiritual reboot of the first one. And that makes me wonder if I want to look up the trophies of the first Ratchet and Clank and see, like, hold on. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Let's see what Ratchet and Clank on the PS3 it takes to platinum this. 2 playthroughs, 25 hours. I wonder if there's any. Yep. It's same thing. Beat the hoverboard challenge. It's the same exact fucking trophy. Yeah. So that's why they put it in there. They put it in there because it was in the first game.
See, man, my I have another gripe with these kind of like sections with the hoverboard is the puzzles, like the little laser puzzles that you have to do in the game.
Those were so fucking easy. What are you talking about?
They are, but
there's a you can just hit square and auto solve them. But if you do that, you miss out on a trophy. But as a listen, noted
at
puzzle
the end of the
boy,
game, I got to that point where I was like, fuck it.
As a noted puzzle boy, I did all the puzzles without looking them up because it was a very easy puzzle. None of them were that hard. The last one was the only one that was like, ooh, you put a little trick in there because there were some lasers you didn't have to use. Yeah. But fucking child's play. Like, they were the fucking easy. There are these little laser puzzles where you have to rotate rings to make lasers hit targets, but the rings themselves also have walls on it. So if you put it in the wrong place, it'll block the lasers.
It was just that, like,
so fucking simple.
I don't know if it's charming or if it's the opposite in the sense of that, like, these kind of little puzzles and these weird platformers or whatever, they still exist. Like, I feel like we would have gotten rid of these, but and that was something when I was playing this game, I was like, well, I wonder if, like, in the next Insomniac game, like in the next Ratchet and Clank, if they still have these kind of like puzzles that we don't really need.
Hey, and then I realized whoa, fuck off. Puzzles are always needed.
Well, no, it's just there are times where I feel like it's totally fine to do.
Puzzles are always fun.
And that's the thing I realized that I had played the next Insomniac game, which was Spider-Man, and they fucking do it in Spider-Man too, because I thought this in Spider-Man where I was like, oh, we're really... I gotta do a little puzzle.
Hey, no, fuck you. Puzzles are fun. I think 100%.
They are.
They sucks.
I like puzzles in my games. I in Spider-Man and in this game, there became a point where I was like, okay, I don't need to do a puzzle right now. Like, we really don't have to make everything a little puzzle minigame.
Yes, at every time we need a puzzle. We should always have puzzles. I was looking to see if there were races in Rift Apart, and there's not, but there is a like an arena that you have to do.
Oh, but is it like a combat arena?
Yeah.
Oh, like, I'm totally cool with that because it's like using really the mechanics of the game. Like,
my friend,
you know,
you really should
you go around and fight things.
You should play Rift Apart.
I really want to, but I need a break because I was burnt out off of this one because it just felt like the only other thing too is that movement, like, I felt like Ratchet moved so fucking slow.
I 100% agree.
Jesus, like the whole game, like until you get the little not even the wingsuit thing, but it's like the second one, the upgraded one where like Clank is the like 4-wing one. I was just mashing that button constantly just to like move just slightly faster throughout the game, because it's just like, god damn, does he walk everywhere, and it is just the slowest walk you could ever think of, to the point where like it at the end of the game where it would then put those puzzle sections in front of me, it was like, look, I just walked a fucking like marathon to get here. Don't make me do a puzzle now. Like, let me fight something square, and then I would skip it just because I was like, I want to get through it. Like, it just kind of got to be a little bit of a slog at the end when it was just like, here's another puzzle, you're gonna walk to the next one. It's like, fuck off. Like, I don't want to do this. I want to play an action platformer. I want to platform, and I want to shoot things. I don't want to sit here and do a laser puzzle that like
you said that. I want to note that you've just said the same thing 3 times. You're talking in a circle.
Reiterating.
You're saying something. You're reiterating. Then you're saying again. You're reiterating. You're saying again. You're reiterating.
That's fair.
You get it. You don't like puzzles, but I like puzzles. I want to say really quick. I looked up. It sounds like you don't like them. I looked up the PS3 remaster of the first Ratchet and Clank to get the platinum, and it's like, these all look really easy. It's just play the game, find all the gold bolts, and do everything. And then it's like, why is this game, everyone's saying that it's long and takes forever? And there's a trophy for getting 1,000,000 bolts, which is like, that's probably not that hard. Apparently you have to, if you don't do this cheat, you have to play the game like 3 to 4 times in a row, because there's not that many bolts in the game.
Yeah, I do remember.
What the fuck is with these people and making these games like, here's a fun game for kids, or just a fun time, and then let's make a trophy where you have to play the game grind. This is that fucking trophy from Adventures of Mana all over again, about getting everything to 99, even though there's not enough. Even if you kill every enemy in the game, there's not enough XP unless you just keep fighting these elephants over and over again for 15 hours. The same as like the reason I want to play that Panzer Dragoon game, because they make you play the game for 100 hours even though the game is an hour long. I hate inflating your platinum time with a trophy that you can't possibly get unless you grind mindlessly.
Right.
That is my biggest complaint with the game we're talking about today, Ratchet & Clank 2016, is that they put in trophies to make you mindlessly grind just to do it. Because if you don't, I would have had to have played the whole game a third time, because there's not enough enemies to get the XP that I need.
Mm-hmm. That's something I do recall from watching like one of Gerard's previous videos on Ratchet and Clank, is that it always comes down to, and then I had to grind 1,000,000 bolts, and that was really tedious and boring. So yeah, but I mean,
that's
they don't do that in Rift Apart, right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
You do have to get all of the weapons up to the top level, but the thing is that there is enough, like, there's enough to let
you do that through playing.
To do that through, you can, and the arena is also a good way to do. Like, I got to do this arena anyway. Mm-hmm. Might as well use some different weapons. So Rift Apart was really good at not doing that. Once again, in a month or two, you should go pick up Rift Apart. Yeah. Man, I just like, this isn't a bad game. Should you play this game? Yeah, play it if it's free. Yeah, it's a fun little time.
Look, if you're looking for.
But if you're looking to play, like if you're like, I'm a big Ratchet and Clank fan,
then I
want to get into the universe, just go watch the movie.
Yeah, totally. Because that's the thing, is I went into it as a Ratchet and Clank fan, and I remember like I was excited for this movie when it came out. Granted, that was when I was living in Japan, so like it was just like it was a pain logistically to try to find the movie like in the way that I wanted to see it, which was in English. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll just catch it eventually. And I missed out until today. And when I watched the movie, I was like, man, this is like, at the beginning, because I had played the game and I'd kind of, seen most of the movie through the game, it was like, oh man, this is not the greatest. And then I bought into it. Then I was like, oh, you know what? This is actually better than the video game itself. I kind of wish I would have just watched this instead of playing this game, because I thought I was going to really enjoy this game, and I didn't.
Hold on. There's another trophy I want to talk shit about. Yeah. There's this fucking trophy called Clank Crusher. To Clank, when he does his little puzzle parts, you get these little robots that you can turn into tools to solve puzzles. And there's one for getting 5 of his little gadget bots crushed in a crusher on this one planet. Except there's not 5 of them. What you have to do is like actively go to this one part, pick one up, put it in the thing, have it crushed. Take the thing off to reset the crusher. Go get it when it restarts. And it's just like it makes no sense. It adds nothing. It's a trophy for something that you would never do at all. Like you would never do it honestly. You would only do it if you're going for this trophy. And it's just boring and takes a while.
Yeah. Which you know what? If we're talking about those puzzles, I liked those puzzles because using Clank to do like puzzle solving in a world thing, totally acceptable for me.
No,
standing next to a terminal and just stopping all gameplay to just do a
you're not stopping
laser thing.
Okay, time out. Shut up. We're doing this again where it's you do this thing where it's like if they even stop for a second to do something different.
Yeah,
it's you hate with Spider-Man too. You can't process two things at once.
No, it's because like the thing is that like it's.
Hey, do you like Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah, totally.
I think it's a bullshit game because they keep taking the story. I want to play the game and they keep making me watch a cutscene. That's your argument. Your argument. That's the argument you're making. No. It's the same argument.
It
is. There's no difference between you saying this game is bullshit because I had to do a puzzle.
One is a gameplay thing and the other is a narrative thing, and that's the difference.
But it's
talking
not.
narrative. I'm totally fine to stop and watch a cutscene. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is when I'm playing an action platforming game and you make me stop and do a mindless puzzle,
it's not mindless.
I'm not here to do a puzzle.
Hold on. Mindless would mean that they're easy. They're complicated.
They were easy.
They were not. I mean, for me,
towards the end, they started.
But like, their mindless puzzle means it's just like a mindless puzzle to me is like a puzzle in Among Us, where it's just like, all right, pick up the thing and put it over here. That's a mindless puzzle. No, they might not have been hard, but they were still good puzzles. So I am offended by your use of the term mindless.
Let me say, if you took out those, I feel like the game would be more streamlined. Like I feel like they do nothing to add to the game.
You're making me want to give this game a higher score now to spite you.
No, because the way that they used puzzles to better the game were the Clank sections. The Clank sections were totally
those Clank sections run like shit. I cannot tell you how many fucking times you had to throw a bridge and it just wouldn't connect. Throw the fucking bridge. I know where it goes.
That bridge,
no, it's buggy
the bridge
as shit.
Building was
it's
a little like once I realized that you had to, and this was again very very late into the game when I realized this. It was they only connect to. You can only start them from like the little yellow thing, but you can only see that from like really the other side, which is kind of weird. So it's like
that's not what I'm talking about.
That's where they would only start. Like they don't do a good job of showing you that.
They do an excellent job of showing you. It's very light. It's bright. It's yellow. It makes sense that it's going. What I had the problem with is that the game will not let you throw the bridge out unless you're standing in the right area. And there was this puzzle in the area with the crushers where you had to make two bridges, one going each way, so that you could put a bot on it to make the thing line up. And no matter what I did, even though I was standing in the exact same spot, it would not make the bridge. It made me walk away from it and throw it at a different angle because the game's like it didn't parse it correctly or something. So it was a bug. Also,
view issue.
Also, I had 4 different hard crashes when I played this game.
Really?
I don't remember how many, and they were all on.
What did you?
They were all when I played it on PS5.
Weird. See, I played it on PS5 too. I never had one crash.
I had 4 separate hard crashes, and they were all during challenge mode. Really? Any bug. Also, that same thing about like the bridges wouldn't connect was only when I played it on challenge mode. It's very weird.
I wonder.
I feel like
it's like just problems within like the new game plus, or like
I don't know.
It could have been also like because in playing Spider-Man, again, very very buggy game. This might just be an Insomniac problem, because Spider-Man, I had so many goddamn bugs getting towards the end of the game.
Really, like, I had no bugs when I played Spider-Man.
Like I had so many, but I feel like that might have been like me just leaving it in rest mode and then like not resetting the game, because then whenever like, you know, clear the cache, like shut the game down, turn the system completely off, turn it back on, and then like everything would run fine. So I wonder if that's like a processing error through the PS5 and not so much the game. It's something that I noticed in Spider-Man. I didn't notice it in Ratchet and Clank, granted, because I sat down, played it through one sitting, never turned it on again. Like, I wonder if there's like some weird computing processing error through the PS5 that is causing stuff like that in Insomniac's code, like in their games. Because that's something fascinating, like that I've just realized.
I don't know about that. Anyway, let's rate this game. We're talking in circles.
The last thing I'll say about the movie, though, I did you catch Sly Cooper and Daxter in the movie?
No, I didn't see that. Where were they?
When they're flying to like the first planet to stop, the bad robots. When Clank turns and is like, "Oh, I don't know what species you are. Like, it's not in my database." And whenever it goes into like first person mode, it shows Daxter, and then it goes to like some like kid, and then it shows Sly Cooper. And I was like, "Oh, hey, that's cute. Like, I like that."
I must have looked away at that part.
Yeah, and then,
like I said, I was watching the movie and playing the game at the same time.
Yeah, that and then the PlayStation.
Oh,
OG
they did have. Yeah, I know that part.
Like,
they had the part where Captain Cork was like playing an alarm to wake somebody up, and it was the PS1 opening sound. I thought,
and like him like immediately turning it down. I was like, that is me at like age 7 trying to like turn my PS1 on, and then the TV being like, oh shit, turn it down.
You know what? You know how I would rate this game? I will never play this game again for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. But I would watch that movie again.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I would totally watch the movie again.
It was a fun movie. I would watch that movie with my nieces and nephew and be like, "You want to watch this movie? It's Ratchet and Clank." And then they'd be like, "Whoa, Ratchet and Clank!" Because my nephew loves video games. We're like, "Yeah." Then he's got a PS5. Play this game, rift apart, and he'd be like, "Whoa!" And then that would be it. What for fun? I rate this game silver. I think it's a standard. I think a 3 out of 5. Everyone was rating it higher, and I think it's like, this is fine. If you take out all the trophy stuff and just play it, it is a short, fun little game that is a nice little like flashback to what the PS2 had.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. It is a PS4 up-res of a PS2 game, really. Not exactly, but that's what it is. It's like, let's remake a PS2 game and just give you a fun little thing. I don't ever think this game was full price when it even came out. I think this was a cheap.
So either. I think it was.
I feel like this was like a $40 game.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and now it's like, hey, I would put it kind of in the same, like now for it being free. Even when I think about it now, I put it in the same kind of pack as like Astro's Playroom. It's, hey, do you want a little nostalgic hit to the PS2? Play Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Yeah. I would say Astro's Playroom is like
better,
a way better platformer. But
that's not what I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying it's like, do you want a little nostalgia hit? Play Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
I think that I honestly maybe even you could even sway me that it's gold, but I think silver is fair.
No, I think this is I'm right there with you. I think it's a silver because like
for puzzles, it's way higher. It's got some great puzzles. It's got great puzzles. It's got fantastic puzzles for smart people who like puzzles like me. If you're listen, you can either be puzzles, smart,
but
you can. Well, I don't know about that. If you liked puzzles, number one, you would like this game more, and
I would play a puzzle game if I wanted to play puzzles,
and you would have seen the Batman.
The Batman. The Batman. No, I'm right there with you. I think this game is a silver. I think the game is too short for its own good, but at the same time, when I was kind of ending it, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the right amount.
Oh yeah, if it had gone like, I actually think that it's a little like you could eliminate one of those levels and be totally fine.
The only other thing is the worlds are a little too short for me. Like, I wish there was just more to explore.
No, I absolutely disagree.
Really?
Like I said, I think there was too much in this game. I think that all the levels should be 20 minutes tops, and the whole game should have been only a couple hours. Yeah. It's a fucking movie game.
Yeah,
that's the movie.
The thing.
Anything else, you are just adding filler. It's just filler.
If it were a Ratchet and Clank game, I would hope it would be a little bit bigger. But that's the thing is that it's not. This is not a movie game.
This is not a Ratchet and Clank video game. This is a Ratchet and Clank the movie, the video game.
Right.
You have to look at it like that.
And when I look at it like that, I think it's like, oh no, it totally makes sense in why the worlds feel a little bit shorter, why it doesn't feel as like deep as a Ratchet and Clank game can be. But yeah, I think it's fun. It's short. If you're looking for something that's free and short, check this game out. It's not terrible.
Now, for trophies, here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Should you go for the platinum of this game? Absolutely. It's very simple. You'll get a free platinum out of it. It's fucking free. Will it be fun? Most of it will be. And then you'll have to grind for a couple hours while you watch reruns of ABC's The Rookie starring Nathan Fillion, because that's all you can do to fill the time while you're grinding out the same part with these guns over and over again. So for trophies, I'm going to give it silver also, because the trophies aren't hard and the missable ones are very easy to not miss. Like, you have to, as long as you plan ahead of time, they're not that hard to miss. You just have to always be using, here's my tips for platinuming it. Always be using the Groovatron on any new enemy, even on a new planet. If you're like, I got that on a different planet, it's like, well, technically they're different. Use it on every enemy, every boss, everything that you can shoot. You can use it on the drop ships. That's the thing that people want miss. You can use it on the helicopters. You can use it on every boss, every mini boss, everything. There's an enemy on the island level where you go in the water, that you have to go up the big giant waterfall to get to a secret area, and there's a bird up there that the only place that bird appears is up there, so get that too. There's some good places for that. Always be switching weapons. You should always be buying all the new weapons as soon as you can and switching between them, so that way you're always getting new XP on the weapons. And then once you get in challenge mode to the second part of, I think the planet is called Rilgar, where you go over the ledge and all of the gooey dudes are fighting the Blarg guys, and there's a tank. That's where you're just gonna park it for about 2 to 3 hours of just shooting everybody. It's an easy platinum. It's got a 22% of completion rate, so that's uncommon. It's not hard. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
You should get the platinum. Now, if you're someone who doesn't care about quantity and you're a quality platinumist who's just going for their favorite games, should you platinum this? Fuck no. The only people who should be platinuming this are hardcore Ratchet and Clank fans and insane maniacs like me.
Even if you're a hardcore Ratchet and Clank fan,
if you're a hardcore Ratchet and Clank fan, and you haven't platinumed this, that means that you're not a hardcore Ratchet and Clank fan, because a hardcore Ratchet and Clank fan would have all the platinums.
Damn, that's fair. That's fair. Feel that.
That was an episode of a lot of yelling.
What would you give the movie though?
Oh, you know what? I didn't put it on Letterboxd. Let's do a live letterboxing of this movie.
I give this movie
are you on Letterboxd?
No. Actually, I am.
You should use Letterboxd. It's fun.
I am on Letterboxd, and I've only rated one movie, and I gave it 5 stars.
What movie?
Hubie Halloween.
Shut up.
It's true. I started an account, and Hubie Halloween 5 out of 5 stars. Excellent movie. Would see it again. I think I saw it again. I think I've seen it twice now. Had fun both times. Great movie to watch with friends. Watch it this year in Halloween.
Don't ever watch that movie.
Yeah. It's great. It's one of those movies that's so bad that when you're watching it, it's like, man, this is terrible. It's terrible. And then it comes full circle, and then it ends up being a good movie.
We're giving Ratchet and Clank on Letterboxd a 3.5 stars. You know, the only problem I have with our rating system is that I don't have halves. I miss halves because I would give this game, I still would give this game a 3, but the trophies I'd rather give it a 2.5, but I don't feel good giving it a 2. So if I could give it a copper and a half instead of a copper, I would.
Are
we allowing halves?
No, let's stick to the solids here. I like solids. I like it. It's easier to just be bam, it's that. Middle of the road.
I like solids. I like a solids with a liquids. What if we gave it it was a solid copper and a liquid silver?
it's like silver and a Capri Sun attached to the side of it.
Well, hold on. I'd rather have the Capri Sun. You can keep the silver. I fucking love Capri Sun. Well, that's the fucking okay. Whatever. Let's do. I want to do this one this week. We got a fresh call from our callers. Hey, if you're a first time, long time out there, you can call into the podcast via email, text, not voice, by email calling, that's email writing. What's the email address again?
I have more trophies than you at gmail.com.
Such a long fucking email.
It's so good.
Anyway,
it's so
call
easy.
in by writing your emails and your questions. I have a email. No, shit. I have a call. Fuck. I have a call right here from our friend Cap Kid. That's the email name that they put on it, Cap Kid. So thank you, Cap Kid.
Cap Kid.
It just says, Dear Ryan and Chris, but mostly for Ryan. So I guess fuck you. What platinum are you most embarrassed of?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Good
so
call.
let me ask you this. What game that you've played like all the way through, are you the most embarrassed that you've played?
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. Man, like embarrassment for me and stuff like that doesn't really come. Like I'm not really embarrassed. Like, I think most people's answers would be like the Dead or Alive, like volleyball games and stuff, like the extreme games. Love those games. Those games are fucking great. I don't know. I really like, that's a really good question that like, I don't think I'm really embarrassed by any game that I've played. I really like, if I like something, I'm going to like it. And I'm not going to be up, I'm not going to get embarrassed about it. I'm just going to enjoy the thing that I like,
Yeah, I think that the reason that this question was asked was because I've talked about like platinuming,
you've got
Pig
some
and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, the thing is that I'm not embarrassed of it because I've gone full circle on it. It's so funny to me. It's like, I got the platinum and Peppa Pig twice. But like, if I had to pick, I really do think at this point, my biggest like I am a little embarrassed that I keep paying $7 for the same break game over and over again. And I should stop.
That's kind of funny, though. I love that.
I recently, I think because we've been talking about it and like, they've honestly, like, I'm not getting the same rush out of it anymore. And so like, it is just like, it's the high is wearing off. It's like, now I'm just paying $7
to chase the dragon.
To not even chase it well though.
Yeah.
Looking through my trophies, is there anything I'm embarrassed by?
And I'm just trying to even think of like a game that I would be embarrassed about owning. And it's like, you know what? Okay. You know what? I'm going to change for me, just like, cause I buy a lot of games. I'm a collector at heart.
Yeah.
The games, I guess, that I would be most embarrassed about owning, I guess. But even now it's something that it's like, well, these are kind of maybe harder to find, but I have like the Full Metal Alchemist PS2, like one of the PS2 games, and I think I have an Inuyasha PS2 game.
Why would you be embarrassed of that? I know exactly what I'm embarrassed about.
Because those were things I enjoyed in high school, and like they kind of fell out, and it's like they're not as, they're nowhere near as good as what I thought in like, oh god, it would have even been middle school at the time. But it's like come around now that I'm like, no, Inuyasha's like cool again. I kind of like enjoy it again. So it's like now, and I'm definitely at I wouldn't say I'm a better place in my life, especially if you follow me online, where it's just like, I think I don't care as much. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't like, I love it. It's cool. Like, I like that they're part of my collection.
I know what the answer is. I know what the things that I'm embarrassed. Why do I keep buying these? And it's the East Asia Soft Collector's Edition Vita games of all these games that I have gotten on Vita and PS4 that were like 10-minute platinums, that I'll buy these collector's editions because I found out all about them after the time. And so on the secondary market, am I gonna sound like a douchebag if I talk about how much money I've spent on video games?
No, like,
okay, here's the thing. So like the Foxyland collection, which is Foxyland and Foxyland 2, which are each like 10-minute platinums that I played on the PS4 and Vita for the trophies, each cost like $5. And then it was like, oh, but there's 2 more platinums I can get this, and it's a Vita thing, and I should get it. And then I spent $65 on it on the secondary market. Or like that Metagal game, which was that like Mega Man remake that only took 5 minutes to platinum on PS4 and Vita. And then when I got this version of it, they added that you had to beat the game, so it took me like a month. That game cost me $100. I look at that on my collection, I was like, why the fuck did I spend $100 on this game? And it's like, yes, I love collecting the Vita, but like, there's a difference between having a bunch of cool Vita games like Persona 4 Golden and Gravity Rush, and even these weird games like having some of these Lego games. It's like, oh, it's fun to have my Vita collection. And then I look at these ones where it's like, yeah, you have the collector's edition of Dungeons and Bombs, some shitty like Bomberman puzzle game that you played with a guy to get the platinum again for the 4th time. And then you spent $93 on it because that's how much it goes for, because the secondary market is ridiculous. And it's like,
it really is. Yeah.
Some of these games that like Reverie, I've talked, like when I went to the Portland Retro Swap Meet, I found a PS4 version of Reverie, which has a new platinum. I like Reverie. We've talked about Reverie. Reverie is the like the old school kind of love letter to Link to the Past that takes place in New Zealand.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so I found a new copy of it on PS4, and it was $50. That game only costs $4.99.
Well, I mean, do you know how many times I've purchased like Sonic Adventure in my life?
That's different. You're
even at varying prices,
you're
like
purchasing that because you like the game. Reverie is fine. I don't give a shit about Pachi Pachi on a Roll or The Lost Cube. You know, yeah. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got 15 of these fucking Vita collector's editions, and I legitimately like 3 of these games.
Like
maybe 4.
But you're like a fan of the Vita, yeah?
Yes, but these are bullshit cash grabs that I should not have bought. But like they put out one that I just bought on and of course I had to buy it on eBay for more than it's worth because they sold out in seconds, and it's a collector's edition of Just Ignore Them and My Big Sister, which are 2 point and click adventure 8-bit horror games that suck absolute shit, but I've gotten the platinums on PS4 and Vita, and now it's part of me, it's the sickness of, well, you don't have those 2 platinums. It's the same reason that I have played The Walking Dead Season 1 on PS3, PS4, the Vita, that one collection. I bought the other collection, and I just imported the Japanese version because it's a sickness of, I've played the game, but I haven't gotten all the platinums. Chris, I have a problem.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. All these months we've been doing this show.
Is this show just an intervention?
I think the description of the show that I always put on like every website is that like it's like one person likes playing games for fun, the other person has a crippling addiction to PlayStation trophies.
It is. It's 100% an addiction. When people are like, "Why aren't you playing this game?" It's like, "Oh, because it's
I'm playing.
It's not a PlayStation with trophies."
It's like Roll Down the Hill Break series.
Brian, why aren't everyone's talking about this game on? Everyone always accuses me of not liking Breath of the Wild because it doesn't have trophies, and I'm starting to think maybe that is the reason I don't like Breath of the Wild.
But that's I kind of admire that in you, and like it's
admire what? I'm wasting my life playing shit games.
Yeah, but I don't know, because I mean I like to collect games, and sure I probably don't buy as many now, especially with like how the secondary market is just like it's ridiculous right now for trying to buy video games, and I'm hoping one day it like calms down or like that, or I'm just like really gonna start investing even more into Japanese games, because the Japanese secondary market's a lot cheaper, especially if you just fly to Japan and spend a couple $100s on games and then fly back. But like I don't know, like because I have a lot of terrible games and stuff, but like I don't know, there's something about having that collection, and just even if you have these weird, because that's it's not so much it's that the game is good or that you enjoy the game, it's the fact that you enjoy the process of getting trophies, and
you're just part of that. You're an enabler. You're just enabling me.
I mean, you just got to look at the positives, right? Because that's the thing that I would look at myself too, is that like I collect comic books too, and I mean there are some books that I've spent a lot of money on, and it's like I'm not even the biggest fan of that book. Like even like the Sonic series that is still going by IDW. I don't like that series, and granted, I have finally stopped buying them, but there's some. I mean, I'm still gonna go back and collect them. I'm just kind of like letting a couple more. Oh, I just wanted to get a little bit longer and then go back and try to look at it again. But I was buying that series. I was buying the A cover. I was buying the B cover. I was buying the retail incentive, which is usually, if it's a 1 in 10, the book's probably $10. If it's a 1 in 25, it's anywhere from 25 plus, you know? And then I was buying that version. And then anytime they would do another variant by like, there would be Emerald City Comic Con, or if it's San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, Midtown Comics variant, I'd buy those, and those could go anywhere from, you know, from $30, $50, $100. You know, I've spent a lot of money just collecting these, and I don't even like the series. I think the IDW run is terrible. I don't think it's good. I think what Sega's mandating is awful. I also just don't think that the writing crew is really at their best right now. And it's even kind of when it comes down to art, but I'm still buying them. And I spend like, you know, $50 to $100 a month on just Sonic books. And then eventually, like, I finally got to that point where I was like, you know what, I'm putting my foot down. I'll come back to this another time. But yeah, it just got to that point where like it got to that point where I was spending so much money that I started looking at it and saying, is this worth it? And then that's...
No, I get it.
So
I want to say I'm getting better. I have been, usually I would take my Vita to the office between patients to play some shitty game. I have been for the last couple of days bringing my GBA SP so that I can play Donkey Kong Country. So at least I'm playing some good games.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So thank you, Cap Kid, for the email call, for the call. If you want to be a first time, long time and call in, email us with your questions.
Yeah, definitely. Any question, like, hit us up. It's just the name of the show at gmail.com. All one word.
All right.
Hit us up, guys.
This has been a good episode.
Was it?
I had a fun time. I have a good time yelling at you for your bad opinions, and then talking about trophies. It's my two favorite things.
Well, hey, I hope everyone out there enjoyed it too.
I can't wait for the next episode because we're going into another episode of Dr. Ryan's Year Weird, and I want to talk about a game. I've had this one in the back burners, wanting to do an episode on this since we started the podcast, but I haven't told you about it because it is a game that I love deeply, but I feel like no one knows about.
Okay.
It is a game that it's a PS3, Xbox 360 game. It's also on Steam, so you can play it on Steam. I got all the achievements in this game back when I was still an Xbox boy. I've gotten all the trophies in this game. This is a rare platinum, an ultra rare platinum. Less than 5% of the people that play it get the platinum. And I believe it's the one game that if I could request anyone to take a game from the PS3 era and like remaster it to PS5, I would want more than anything.
Really? Okay.
It is a game. Hold on. Who makes this game? Actually, yeah, I know all the answers to these. I just have to think about it. This is a Sega game.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
This is a game made by our friends at Obsidian Entertainment.
Okay.
Do you know Obsidian?
Yeah. They made Fallout Vegas, right? New Vegas, and then they did Outer Worlds or Outer Worlds, right?
Yes, they did the Outer Worlds, and they did do New Vegas, but they did New Vegas October 19th of 2010. But a couple months before that, in May 27th of 2010, they put out a game that I really think is one of my favorite, like, weirdo out there games of all time. We'll be playing the espionage RPG Alpha Protocol.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Have you ever even heard of this game?
I own this game on
Do you really?
Steam. Yeah, I've just never played it.
Well, great. Now it's time to play it.
Well, fuck.
Because I love this game to death. I think it's a it's a weird fucking game. I can't wait to see what you think about it. And I can't wait to tell you what I had to do to get the platinum in this game because it's fucking crazy.
Okay. I'm downloading it right now. I'm stoked. Like, this is a game I've heard a lot about and one that I just never got around to playing, so I'm excited to check it out. All right, let's do fucking Alpha Protocol. Let's do this.
We're doing Alpha Protocol. And since I've already played it, I can spend the next 2 weeks playing Elden Ring, baby! Thank you so much, always, to our friends for listening to this great episode of a podcast where we play the video games and I get the trophies before they get the trophies. And we all get happy because this has been another great episode of the podcast. I've learned a new trick, which is I can keep you hostage. We can't end the episode until I say the thing. I can also, so I'm in total control because I can make the episode not start and I can make the episode not end. What do you do to get me to end this episode? You gotta bribe me or else we're just gonna be here all night.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say, Ryan, right now you are turning into a robot and it's even funnier. So you should just keep the episode going.
Why do I sound like a robot?
Now you're coming through. Okay. I don't know. Like it's like you're like kind of going in and out of robot voice.
I bought a new headset and I've been trying to establish the range. I think I need to move the sensor for the wireless a little bit, and I'm using a different mic. Do I sound better?
I mean, yeah, you sound clear. Sound good.
Cool. It's good to know.
I mean, except for right now where you sound like a robot, but
it's good to know that not only do I have a new headset, but of course, I have more trophies than you.
Perfect.
Do I really sound like it all?
Yeah. You for like as soon as like we were like, oh, let's do Alpha Protocol, go on. From there, even to like now, full robot, and it's kind of genius. It's like really funny because it's like you're like, I can keep us here forever, but you're just like, and it's like it's so fun. Like I'm sitting here like trying to like stifle my laughs so that I'm not like adding into the confusion of it. Hey, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you'd like to send us questions, gaming memories, comments, or if you just want to know when the next episode's going to drop, then you can follow us on Twitter at MoreTrophiesPod. That's MoreTrophiesPod. That's More Trophies Pod. Also, you can email us at ihavemoretrophiesthanyou@gmail.com. It's just the name of the show, all one word, at gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow Ryan at Dr._Ryan on Twitter. You can also keep up to date with his Monday night Twitch streams office hours at twitch.tv/Dr._Ryan. That's Dr._RYAN. Dr._Ryan on both Twitch and Twitter. And follow Chris on Twitter at Burezu in Japan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I'm going to spell it out for you right now. That's BUREZUINJAPAN. That's all one word, Burezu in Japan on Twitter. And when they are streaming, you can check them out at twitch.tv/BlazeTK. That's BLAZE, the letter T, the letter K on Twitch. BlazeTK. Thank you again so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.